It would be a sin if I didn't speak about Kafka next. So lock in with me as we explore how much milk can Kafka's calcium cannons produce. With the help of Zenless Zone Zero's Milkman, we have managed to find an accurate answer, and it's way more than you think. But how did we arrive to our conclusion? Our first and most crucial step was finding Kafka's cup size, as it's the most important variable in calculating her output later on. Everything else is secondary when the honkers are on the line. While there are multiple methods for calculating a cup size, we ultimately settled on setai geometry. But Mischief, what's a setai geometry? I'ma keep it a buck. If you still don't know, you're cooked. Setai geometry is a method where you use the front and side profile to estimate a character's bust. Thankfully, we found a reference sheet of Kafka and used it to measure her bust and underbust to find her cup size. However, we cannot go any further until we find her height. This is where Promise Me Stars came through for us and compared every character's height using Blender, since the scaling is nearly identical to Unity Game Engine, a platform that HSR uses to scale and develop their character models. Stop using Unreal Engine 5, my PC can't handle it. Thanks to our hard work, we found that Kafka's height is 5'7" with heels and 5'6" without. To support our findings even more, we used Kafka's setai sheet and directly measured her height. We also used transparent overlays of Blade and Silverwolf, which gave rough estimates. I'm not gonna lie though, all we had to do was look at part 2 of a character story, but I, Mischief, never backed down from a challenge. Gooners and Goonettes, I am proud to announce that Kafka comes out to having massive H-cups. Great googly woogly. H-cups can weigh anywhere between 2.9 to 3.6 kg as a total pair. For the sake of accuracy, we're going to assume that Kafka's orbs weigh 3.3 kg. You know what that means, right? We are one step closer to finding out how much milk Kafka produces. Our next step is finding out how much active glandular tissue is stored in her calcium cannons. If you don't know what's an active glandular tissue, oh man, you gotta stay in school. It's pretty much the part that's responsible for producing the milk. I'm gonna keep it a buck, but we'll be revisiting studies that you'll eventually become accustomed to. The first one is the Journal of Anatomy by Ramsey and his colleagues in 2005. In their research, they studied the anatomy of the orbs producing milk, redefined with ultrasound imaging. After examining 21 different women, they found that glandular tissue makes up 63% as the total of the orb's tissue volume, with a standard deviation of 9% and a pretty wide individual range from 46% all the way up to 83%. And the fatty tissue represented a range of 16% to 51% for the left cannon. I'm not gonna lie, that part isn't important. I just wanted to show you guys how reliable this is. Well, at least you know it is one of those trust me bro sources. Second study that we need to ingrain into our minds is Margaret C. Neville's 2008 review on milk secretion. Margaret C. Neville reported that the rate averages approximately 1.5 milliliters of milk per gram of glandular tissue per day. According to Margaret, in comparison to related dermal glands such as the salivary and sweat glands, the rate of milk secretion is slow, about 1.5 milliliters of milk per gram of glandular tissue per day. TLDR, the 1.5 milliliters is very important to the calculation later. With that out of the way, we now have everything we need to dive into the milk math. So let's not waste any more time and get right to business. Since we established that Kafka's boobies weigh 3.3 kg, we multiply that by the average amount of glandular tissue, which is 63%. If you paid attention in school, you'd know percentages are expressed as decimals. So we multiply 3.3 kg, which gives us 2.07 kg of active glandular tissue. Since we have 2.07 kilograms of active glandular tissue, we want to convert that over to grams. And how do we do that? If you said multiplied by 1000, you are right. 2.07 kg multiplied by 1000 would be 2079 grams of active glandular tissue. Instead of using 1.5 milliliters reported by Margaret C. Neville, we'll instead be using 2 milliliters as our limit, since we don't lowball anything on this channel. So our final equation would be 2079 grams multiplied by 2 milliliters of per gram. Ladies and gentlemen, Kafka is able to produce 4.1 liters of milk per day. Oh my goodness, and it's all mine. If you have any other character you want to see, preferably from Honkai Star Rail, since I don't plan to branch out yet, let me know. With that being said, have a blessed day and I'll see you guys in the next one.